Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another Mugen Forum video, and today I want to talk about Nintendo. Of course, if you guys don't realize right now, if you guys are new to my channel, I'm a big Nintendo fan. I love Nintendo, but as a Nintendo fan, I expect so much from them, and I always want to see them do well. So, yes, I do criticize Nintendo, and that's what fans should do when they look up to someone, or they expect something from something they look up to. There's bound to be some criticism. If you're just a blind fanboy and just accept things that they do, hey, who am I to judge? Well, anyway, last week I believe that Nintendo had announced the next upcoming, I guess, next gen platform, codename the NX. What does this mean? Well, you have a split. You have people who have split views on this. For the simple fact is, when they announced this next gen or this next upcoming platform called the NX, and they also made an announcement that they were going to also go into the mobile gaming market, something that Nintendo denied, or something that Nintendo realized that, hey, this is something that we don't want to do because we have a dedicated platform for our handheld, gaming or whatever. So you have people with split views. Me on the other end, when there were speculations going around that Nintendo maybe coming up with another console pretty soon, I was saying to myself that, one, I think that'd be kind of stupid, for the simple fact is, if Nintendo was to announce another console right away that's coming up in like a year or two, whatever, it pretty much, people, or the consumer base or the fan base, will pretty much lose faith in Nintendo, because Nintendo's pretty much saying that, hey, we made a mistake with the Nintendo Wii U, but hey, we got something better, this is what we have. And I think that's something that will, to me, in my opinion, will hurt the fan base, or it will hurt the faith in some of the consumers who went out and spent their hard-earned money on Nintendo Wii U, and Nintendo is now giving up on it. Then you have the other fan base saying that, hey, Nintendo really need to up their game up, and in order to compete with their competitors, which is Sony and Microsoft with the Xbox One and the PS4. They need to come out with better hardware, so you can entice third-party developers to come on board to develop some games for their platform. So when they announced this whole NX thing, there's little to no real information on this, but pure speculation. Nintendo said that they're supposed to make some more announcements next year about the whole codename NX and what they're going to do. But what Shigeru Miyamoto and just what Iwata is saying about the whole Nintendo NX is that this is supposed to revolutionize or change the way we play games, or how we think about gaming in general. And this is something that Nintendo have always been doing with every console. Most of their consoles has always been different, or they change the way we play games every console, except from the NES to the Super NES. It's just, Super NES is just a much more beefed up NES with better graphics, better sounds, textures, or whatever. But as far as the 64 was different, the GameCube was different, and of course we can say that the Nintendo Wii was, yeah, different indeed. And then of course the Nintendo Wii U with the gamepad. So yes, best believe that Nintendo's going to pretty much hit us with something different. But the question is, have Nintendo really learned anything, from what they've done with the Nintendo Wii U once they step into the whole Project NX? Have they learned anything? Have these guys studied where they went wrong, or are they going to continue to make the same mistake? Are they continue to make a platform that only they will design games for, and it won't entice, or it won't be user friendly for developers to come on board and create third-party games? That's the number one question is, because right now in this current generation, Splatoon won't have voice chat. I know to some people that voice chat doesn't mean anything, because recently Game Station, I think, or his name's Jared, he had did an interview with one of the developers or the producers behind Splatoon, and he asked, will there be any form of voice communication for Splatoon, and they pretty much said that no, you shouldn't need to have it, because the way the game is designed, where once you step into an area, if you see your color or you see your enemy color and that's taking up a particular space, you should automatically know what to do. Which, to me, I think that's just silly. Yes, you don't need voice chat, but the thing is, these things have become standards in in gaming, period. And not just that, what's wrong with having options? Some people may not want to chat, but the people that want to chat should have those options. And Nintendo is still stuck in this way, or still stuck in this kid-friendly way, to where they don't want no form of communications with, you know, with strangers or whatever like that, to protect, you know, minors or whatever. And just the thing that bothers me, for the simple fact is, if these guys are still not learning some of these trends or some of these normal things that today consoles are doing, how are they able to transfer that over to the NX or whatever platform that these guys are coming up with? Because it's already a bummer that the next Zelda game has been pushed back next year, and people are speculating even that the next Zelda game is being pushed back for the simple fact is they may be trying to do a whole cross-platform thing like they did with Twilight Princess. How Twilight Princess was supposed to come out for the Nintendo GameCube, but they pretty much held it back so when the Nintendo Wii came out, they was able to make a cross between the GameCube and the Nintendo Wii. So people are speculating that maybe the next Zelda game is being pushed back so it can be released on Nintendo Wii U and the next Nintendo platform. And to me, it could possibly happen, but at the same time, I don't think it could happen, for the simple fact is I think it's still too early to release the next platform, especially talking about Christmas of next year. Now 2017 or Christmas 2017 or somewhere in 2017, alright, that seemed logical, because then by that time the Nintendo Wii U had been out for what, 3-4 years, and back then consoles only lasted for 5 years back then, but it's only when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and the Wii have lasted for over a decade. That's the only generation that lasted that long, but consoles normally last 4 to 5 years. So it would make sense then for them to do that. And, you know, just to speculate, because I don't know anything about the NX, if that is the case, then it most likely, if the next gen Nintendo system is coming as early, then most likely they'll probably have some Wii U backwards compatibility, so people won't feel, I guess, robbed, for the simple fact is that they bought a Wii U and now they going on to the next console and they dumping off the Wii U after people spent money. So it makes sense that they make it backwards compatible, so people who do want to cross over to the next gen Nintendo system, they can still buy the Wii U games that's coming out and still play the NX titles that's coming out. But the thing is, hopefully Nintendo learned something from this. Hopefully they're not jumping into this next thing, for the simple fact is they realize that they made a mistake and they know that there's nothing they can do to entice third party. There's nothing they can do to try to win over third party. So they make this next platform the next best thing in order to make it user friendly and to make it much more, I guess, on par or a little bit farther than the Xbox One and the PS4. I just hope that they learned that, hey, when we do this next platform, that online gameplay or online play should be a staple thing. You know, there's nothing wrong with in the living room playing with your friends, playing with your families, but if you think about it, today's time and generation, especially here in the United States, mostly everybody play in their house by themselves, play online, they chat with one another. Their whole in-house family thing is not really there. It's not really as relevant as it used to be. Yes, friends and family are in the same house, but even though they're in the same house, everybody's on their own mobile devices like pads, cell phones, televisions, and game consoles, computers and everything, laptops. So even though the family's in the same house, but everybody's still separated because everybody has their own platform. Everybody has their own devices. So Nintendo really should focus on, if they want to draw in the hardcore gamers, they want to keep the die-hard fans, they want to get third-party support, Nintendo with this next platform or whatever they decide to develop and bring over, they really need to build a better online infrastructure. They really need to put out A-list games. They have to start going to these developers right now, showing what their hardware is capable of, or the potential of what this hardware is capable of, and start having these developers develop games. So by the time launch for this title comes out, there's a boatload of games that utilizes the power of this next generation console for Nintendo, because Nintendo had a whole year head start with the Nintendo Wii U and they've done nothing with it. So like, if Nintendo Wii U would have came out and Pikmin 3, Wonderful 101, Bayonetta 2, and a few other games, or like Super Mario 3D World and a few other games that were coming out within that window after launch, Nintendo Wii U would have did good. Nintendo Wii U sales would have skyrocketed because you had a bunch of A-list games that was ready within that launch window for people to see what the Wii U is capable of, and the people to be hyped that, hey, we got some third-party titles here, we have some awesome first-party titles. Nintendo, there's no reason why Nintendo shouldn't have dominated this generation. Even though this generation just started, there's no way in the world Nintendo should be at the bottom, because Nintendo could have had the best third party that you can get anywhere, and then they have their first party library. The Nintendo platform could have been a platform to where not only can I get my Mario Kart, not only can I get my Legend of Zelda or my Metroid or my Donkey Kong and Star Fox games, I can also get my Grand Theft Autos, my Tomb Raider, my Batman games. I don't understand. They could have gotten Destiny. You know, these are things that Nintendo is sleeping on, or Nintendo is not throwing money out at in order to get these developers to come over here. Nintendo has a lot of money in the bank, but they're not utilizing their money or throwing money at these developers to convince these developers to come over. So hopefully with the NX, I pray to God that these guys convince third-party developers and build faith in their fan base to come over, and convince even players who have an Xbox One and have a PS4 to come over and to buy their next-gen system. Out the gate, the NX should have some A-list games, or some just high-quality games in general. Now, as far as the mobile gaming market is concerned, where Nintendo's going over, I'm not really a mobile gamer like that. Even though I have handhelds and everything like that, I'm not really into handheld gaming. But Nintendo stock even went up somewhat a little bit when they announced that they're going over to the mobile market or whatever. So Nintendo is slightly realizing that, hey, we can't just stay secluded in this one box. We want to step out a little bit. Even though they said they would never do mobile gaming, going to the mobile platforms, but it makes sense. They have iconic characters. They have these characters that you can pretty much just you know, get addicted to, or just relate to and everything like that. And also, Nintendo's always creative when it comes to their games. They're always pushing the bar. They're always taking the risks and always taking the chance as far as creativity is concerned. So making mobile games with their creativity and them doing risky things, I think Nintendo can pretty much nail that market, but still have a dedicated hardware for their handheld games. So that's pretty much my opinion about this. If you guys have any information on Nintendo NX and what they're doing in the mobile market, or is anything I left out, leave it a comment in the comment section below. If you guys want to hear more of my discussion videos or gaming or movie related videos, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, share the video, check out my Twitter and Facebook. This is MugenLord signing off.